So, as I said in my last video, I want to talk about the Red Sox and the Yankees. Now, I'm not necessarily going to talk about the teams and about what they've accomplished or what I think they're going to do this year. I may do that later on. But I've had this wanting to know from different people. This is more me asking more questions than actually trying to make a statement. They've talked about this on ESPN before, and I thought this would be a good thing to discuss here on the internet. So, and I may have asked this before in other videos, but since it's baseball season, maybe I'll get a new group of fans. So, with that being said, let's get started. If you asked a random person on the street and asked them, name me two Major League Baseball teams, the answers you're probably going to get are Yankees and Red Sox. Much like if you asked a random person on the street, name me two National Football League teams, they would say Dallas Cowboys, and it doesn't matter. Granted, the Cubs, the Braves, and the Mets, and their other teams have immense followings in this nation. You cannot deny that these two teams do have the largest fan base. I mean, check any away game they play. Usually, most of the fans are for them. So my question is this. With two teams in one sport having so much popularity, does it hurt or help the entire organization? The point was brought up one day on ESPN that with the surge of the Tampa Bay Rays at this moment, does this help ratings? Me personally, right now, I think it does. People want to see the Rays, who were the worst team in baseball last year, now at this point are the best team so far this season. Things change, but as it looks right now, that's the best team. But I can see the point at the same time. With such a huge fan base from both of these squads, if neither of them, I mean, at least one of them is going to make the playoffs, but if neither of them did make the playoffs, how much would that hurt the ratings throughout the rest of the season? Now, I'm torn here because, as y'all know, with my college football, I like the big dogs. I like, Texas is my team, so I want to see Texas versus USC. I want to see Georgia. I want to see, even OU, the big dogs, fight it out. But you can also, at the same time, appreciate the smaller teams. But I don't like to be overly dominated by that. I feel like throughout the season, it makes it a lot more fun. As you saw this year with Tampa Bay, people are enjoying it. People are actually going to the games down there. But when it gets down, is this team good enough where at the end of the year, are they going to be able to take home the trophy? Are they going to actually not necessarily just win the World Series, but at least make a competition and compete for it? I mean, look at the Colorado Rockies last year, a team that earned its way into the playoffs and earned its way through the playoffs to get to the World Series. But once they got there, they met up with the elite Boston Red Sox, who are one of the subjects of this video here, and got trounced. So, did the ending solidify how fun it was to watch them bust through the odds and make it to the game? Or did the ending really leave you wanting? Now, on to the fan bases. Now, before I say anything else, I know there are a lot of Cowboys fans here on YouTube and around that are Yankees or Red Sox fans. And as we know here, with a lot of the Cowboys fans on here, are not from Texas, but they're as loyal as they come. So I'm not going to knock anybody for being a Red Sox or a Yankees fan and not being from New York or Boston or that area. But I'm just going to ask some questions, and you guys let me know. Video response, text, let me know what you guys think about the points I want to try to make here. As we said, being a true fan does not mean you own all the memorabilia or that you know everything about a team. But you need to have some kind of following and some kind of knowledge of it. And the problem I have with some of the fans of the Red Sox or the Yankees is if you say to the Red Sox, who's your favorite player? Oh, I like Big Papi, but they don't even know who the manager is. And you have a Yankees fan. Now, who's the most famous player on the Yankees? Oh, it was that one guy. Rhymes with that candy bar. I forgot. Now, I don't like the Yankees or the Red Sox. I mean, I pretty much dislike them almost equally. Partially due to the constant media coverage, and this is not just being bitter from being from a smaller, less successful team like the Texas Rangers. I understand you're not going to want to talk about a team that consistently does bad, but there are always the Angels, the Cubs, the Braves, the White Sox, teams that they do get coverage, but nothing close to what the Yankees or the Red Sox. Part of that's for history. They, in both those franchises, has really earned a lot of that from winning championships and being good for the past 20-something years. So one of my questions would have to be, do you think the constant media coverage of these two squads, does it alienate the rest of the MLB? Do other fans seem almost turned off by it? Or is it that that's the biggest fan base and they're doing what's best for baseball? I don't know what to say. You guys let me know. Now, I know the Dallas Cowboys are one of those teams in the NFL team really dominated by the media coverage. But I would say not so much as baseball is towards the other two. And we do have a large fan base around the country and even the world. And you're going to want to, and with the Dallas Cowboys coming back and being a legitimate contender for the Super Bowl each year now, football is growing in popularity. I don't know if it's because of that, or I think it's just, also, me personally, I think the game just fits what Americans like more. It seems like with other sports, like with baseball or basketball, you need those marquee franchises to meet in the championship before you have any kind of ratings. Like this past year with the Celtics and the Lakers. It really wasn't the best series in the world, but those are the two marquee franchises. Now, when you have Cleveland and San Antonio being one of the best teams we've seen in the past decade, people didn't really want to watch, possibly because of fan base, maybe because of gameplay, I'm not sure. But it is what it is, and the numbers don't lie. Now, I'm willing to admit, if this year's Super Bowl was the matchup of the Dallas Cowboys and, let's say, the Pittsburgh Steelers, that would be one of the most hyped Super Bowls in a long time. Two teams with Super Bowl history, Super Bowl rivalry history. You couldn't pass that up. But at the same time, I think there'd be as much anticipation for, let's say, two up-and-coming teams if the Minnesota Vikings met the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Okay, scratch that. That would suck. Never mind. So I guess I'd have to ask is, do the way these certain sports have their championship or playoff series, does that add up to how much you're going to follow an underdog or how much you think they can accomplish, which means you'll follow them more? Like the New York Giants, who, this is not a knock on the New York Giants, they were a huge underdog against the New England Patriots. Now, in all reality, if football were a 7-game or a 5-game or a 3-game series, the Giants probably wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl or have won the Super Bowl if they did. I would have to believe that the New England Patriots would have beat anybody, including my Dallas Cowboys or anybody, in a series of games. They were the best team last year. But just because you're the best team and you deserve it doesn't mean you get it. But here's the main crux of this video, and it's the fan bases. Once again, Red Sox Nation and Yankees Empire. I guess that's what they're called. I just titled it that. Not so much the Yankees fans. There's a lot of Yankees fans all over the place. But I have to believe, and this is just me, my gut, that those have been Yankees fans for a long time. Because the Yankees have been good for a long time. 26 championships, you're going to gain a few. But mostly, this is for the Red Sox fans. And this is for the true Red Sox fans. And even the newcomers. For the newcomers, why did you become a Red Sox fan? Is it because of the history? Is it because of the recent success? Because this is what I heard. Before the Red Sox won their first World Series in a long time, it was a popular team, but nowhere near as... It's almost become a fashion statement to wear Boston Red Sox gear. So, when I say to the true Boston Red Sox fan who have been through all those years of not winning a championship, having to watch the Yankees up y'all to finally get one, and then the next year you start seeing faces you don't see. I saw a documentary about the Red Sox, and a lot of the older fans were almost put off a little bit because after those next coming years, they started seeing younger faces and people they would talk to that didn't know anything about the history, but hey, the Red Sox are good and people know about them, so they started cheering for them. So this is my question, my main question here, and it's mostly for Red Sox fans, but Yankees fans, everyone can chime in. Video response, comment, whichever. What do you feel about fans who do that? Fans who jump on when a team is doing well, and just because they're doing well and because they're well known. This is for football and anything, Dallas Cowboys and everything. So, you guys, let me know. And what do you think? You know, what do you think about the bandwagon fans of these two teams or any other? Oh yeah, and you may have Red Sox Nation and Yankees Empire, but you better wait for Rangers Republic. Yeah, Rangers Republic. Oh man, I hope that doesn't stick.